In this session and upcoming few sessions, we are going to see most used architectural patterns which are considered during designing the architecture of the software. We are going to see it in an interesting way. Means we are going to see it in the form of a journey or evolution of software architecture, how they evolved over the time. But one note for you is, it is not mandatory that you should use this architectural pattern, but it is just a recommendation. These are the time-tested, proven solution to the recurring architectural problems. But if you can come up with a better architecture than the pattern suggested, then you are always welcome to follow that. An architectural pattern is not a rigid set of rules. It's a flexible guidelines that can be tailored to fit the specific needs and constraint of a project. So now let us understand what is monolithic architectural pattern. As the name suggests, monolith, right, means a single block of stone. So similar is the concept here. Monolithic architecture is a straightforward and simple approach to building your application. In this approach, the application is built as a single indivisible unit. In this architecture, all the components and modules of applications are tightly coupled together. They run as a single process on a single server or a computing instance. Understand this. It is a single indivisible unit run as a single process and on a single server. Means at code level, you will create a single solution with a single project. Contains all classes, database calls, business logics, and finally you will figure out in a solution what to display to user. So everything is mixed in here. Sometimes people try to split the class files as per the folders, but it is still a large mess to manage in this pattern. In a monolithic architecture, the entire application is typically developed, deployed, and scaled as a whole. This means that any changes or updates to one part of the application requires rebuilding and redeploying the entire application. The components within the application share the same memory space, allowing them to communicate with each other directly and efficiently. Monolithic architectures have been widely used for a long time and are known for their simplicity and ease of development. I will say it is one of the easiest architecture pattern to follow. They often use a single technology stack, making it easier for developers to work on the application. However, as the application grows in size and complexity, monolithic architecture can become harder to maintain and scale. Few main challenges of monolithic architectures are: first is scalability. One of the main challenges with monolithic architecture is their limited scalability. Since the entire application runs on a single server, scaling the application requires scaling the entire system, even if only a specific component or module needs additional resources. This can lead to inefficiencies and increased cost. Second is flexibility with respect to technologies. Another drawback is the lack of flexibility in choosing different technology for different part of the application. In a monolithic architecture, all components must have the same technology stack, which can limit the ability to adapt to new technologies or frameworks. Next one is about fixing issues. Since monolithic architecture has tightly coupled components, fixing issues in one component can break the other component. You end up doing the code changes at multiple places. And the final one is about deployment. Since monolithic is a single indivisible unit, right? Even if you fix the issue in some component, you need to deploy your entire application. So that is another headache. So this is all about the challenges of monolithic architecture. Now to understand this monolithic architecture more, let me give you an analogy. Consider a restaurant with a single kitchen. Imagine a restaurant with a single kitchen where all the cooking activities take place. In this monolithic restaurant, all the different tasks such as food preparation, cooking, plating, and serving happens within the same kitchen. The kitchen represents the monolithic architecture here, where all the components of the restaurant are tightly coupled together. The chef handles all the cooking, and once the food is ready, it is plated and served directly to the customer. The entire restaurant, from taking order to serving meals, operates as a single unit with no distinct separation of responsibility. So this is the same case which you can see in the software applications, which follows the monolithic architecture. So this is all about the monolithic architecture.